Hello everybody, this is Flat, Fallout Lore and Theories, and today we are looking into the basic lore of Vault 114. You can find Vault 114 east of Swan's Pond and in this general vicinity here. Let's listen to these two
I'm
and...
telling you, joining Skinny Malone's crew was the best decision we've ever made. Look at this place.
I still say Malone's weak. He caught that detective snooping around, and what does he do? Locks him up. Like he ain't got the balls to just kill him.
Well, don't let his new girl hear that. She'll start swinging that bat of hers at your face until there ain't no face left.
So, immediately after hearing these two bicker, we learn that Skinny Malone and Darla have captured Nick Valentine, and as a result, it is our objective to save him. However, we learn that the vault has been inhabited by a bunch of gangsters. What we don't know is how that came to be. So after shortly handling these henchmen, we notice a terminal in the cashier's booth. Upon reading it, we learn that the station is being closed due to Vault-Tec Corporation developing a vault further inside the tunnel. We also know that the subway tokens have stopped being created as of February 11th, 77. If you try to purchase tickets, the game will say no, and you are unable to. After taking the loot, it is now safe to investigate further into the vault. Upon going farther into the vault, we learn a few things, or the station, rather. We learn that after the bombs fell, it is quite possible that some people have come into the station to essentially take shelter from the nuclear fallout. We can learn this because there are skeletons in certain hallways, such as this one, next to a sleeping bag and what would be a lantern, a couple dirty water containers, and a safe, meaning someone was definitely living here. Of course, we cannot determine what happened to him or really just about what happened to him at all. It is uncertain whether he died from the fallout, someone killed him, or honestly just died in his sleep. We have another terminal here. We'll look at that in a minute. Now, when we pop up the terminal, we notice immediately that it's the same exact terminal that we had just looked at the cashier's booth. This is probably a very bad error on Bethesda's part, or it is just a looping system. Okay, so after clearing out most of the tunnel, we finally come to Vault 114. Immediately though, the vault doesn't look too out of the ordinary. The door seems sealed up, but we automatically know that somebody's in there because if you listen very carefully, you can hear footsteps. So after opening the vault, this is where things start to change a little bit. We immediately know that the vault hadn't stayed sealed up, because we can obviously hear people inside. Something that seems very odd and peculiar, however, is the fact that a lot of the supplies and stuff for the vault are still in boxes, as if they were never opened to begin with. We find a terminal to the right of entering the vault, and you can find a couple jumpsuits on the floor. I take them personally as a trophy, but it's up to you whether you do with it. Medics and Radaway can also be found on the desk. Of course, reading into it, we learn that this message is basically just initiating the Vault-Tec staff, basically telling them their goals, and honestly, it's just a lie. They're basically saying that they're going to try and help humanity, and honestly, if you know anything about the Fallout series, this is obviously a lie. Basically, they're just telling you, welcome once again, blah 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 blah. Now here's the real juicy part. If you read the private, it essentially says that you shouldn't be reading this without a security clearance, but the base briefing of it is that the whole experiment is they're going to take high-ranking government officials, business people, and their families, inflate the idea of the vault so much, claiming that it's so great, everything in the vault is amazing. You should come here. We have food, we have a lot of this. It's basically going to be personal mansions, it's going to be luxury. But in reality, the quarters are actually extremely small. The bathing compartments will be in shared quarters as well as the dining room. So basically, everything is just essentially a lie, and the experiment to see is, will the rich truly be comfortable in an environment that would better suit the poor, and how will it affect them mentally and physically? Once again, I just want to get back to the point that a lot of these supplies you find are still in boxes and are very pristine. So immediately that tips us off that this vault, well, it never really began its experiment.
Build a vault out of a subway station. This place is like the opposite of airtight.
Because they weren't planning to use it, you moron. We used to pull this kind of con all the time back before the war. Get a bunch of you boys to work some construction job that would go nowhere. Keep everyone on payroll.
As you can just hear, my suspicions have been confirmed. According to the school, they were never planning to use the vault. Either that or it was too backed up. The construction workers were milking the site for all that it was worth and not generally caring at all for the actual vault tech itself, which means this vault actually never came to fruition. When we go in further, we can hear Nick Valentine talking to a man named Dino. There's a couple ways you can do it here. You can kind of let Dino just slip out. I've never done that personally, but I just like to shoot him in the head. I've tried exploring this area for any information, but mostly it's just sealed up packages and stuff that are pretty useless.
3 strikes? In the black book?
If you listen to their conversation right now, Nick is basically talking his way out, claiming that Dino's name was struck 3 times in the black book. According to him, that basically means a death sentence. So right away we can already assume that Skinny Malone must be a very terrible leader if people are A, afraid of him, and B, he's willing to kill his own people. So after taking the overseer's door, you can just go up here, loot everything that you can, as well, that's what Fallout is, and go up to this terminal here. Upon putting in the password, you can either take a number or override the door controls. If you take a number, it gives you a ridiculously high number, essentially to wait for the interviews. We'll get to that in a minute.
Why does he come all this way? Risk life and limb. An old private eye.
I need you to find someone, but it's complicated. I don't exactly know where they could be or how long they've been gone.
Well, I've done jobs with less. Somehow nice and simple never makes it onto the menu in my world. I've been cooped up in here for weeks. Turns out the runaway daughter I came here to find wasn't kidnapped. She's Skinny Malone's new flame. And she's got a mean streak. Anyway, you got troubles, and I'm glad to help. But now ain't the time. Let's blow this joint. Then we'll talk.
From what Nick just said, we can immediately assume that Darla is Skinny Malone's new flame, and that's the whole reason he was caught. Take the speech bobblehead, and we're going to learn a little bit more about Vault Tech. Take the 3 holotapes on the desk. They are labeled interview holotapes. And we're just going to take a quick look around, make sure I didn't miss anything. If we hop on the terminal here, it basically gives you that same cookie cutter message that it did on the other 2 terminals, so let's just skip those. So it's not really important, doesn't explain a whole lot. So now if we go to the holotapes, we can learn just a little bit more about what the plan was for this vault. Let's start with number 3.
This is Vault-Tech interview number 03 for the position of Overseer for Vault 114. Interview subject, Benjamin Beasley. Mr. Beasley, as Overseer of Vault 114, how would you settle a disagreement between 2 of your Vault residents?
Well, I would obviously take it through the proper channels. Assuming neither of their requests were against the law, of course. This is, of course, assuming that the conflict had already gone through all the other members of the Vault's Residence Council that I plan on organizing.
Vault Residence Council, you say?
Yes, of course. People need government. They yearn for it. I think it's a civic duty of every red-blooded American patriot to serve.
Yes, I think we have everything we need here. Thank you for your time.
Oh, already? Well, I look forward to hearing from you soon.
Yes, I'm sure you will. Please make sure to fill out your non-disclosure agreement on your way out.
Now let's
This
pop
is
the
Vault
other
Tech
holotape then.
Interview number 21 for the position of Overseer for Vault 114. Interview subject, Kimberly Weiss. Hello, Mrs. Weiss.
How do you do? And may I just say what an honor it is to even be considered for the position of Overseer. Ever since I was a little girl in mock government, I dreamed that one day I would have the opportunity to lead a community to greatness. My teachers all told me I had leadership potential, and without my guidance as student council vice president, those bake sales surely would have failed. Just the thought of being able to organize and run this small group, to show them a better way, to lead them to a future so bright that they...
My goodness. Looks like we're out of time.
What? We just started!
Yes, yes. Thank you. If you could just send the next candidate in as you leave.
Oh, of course. Did I mention I was head of my debate team?
I'm sure you did. Thank you.
Alright, let's pop in the next one, my personal favorite.
This is Vault Tech interview number 87 for the position of Overseer for Vault 114. The candidate has refused to give his real name and has only provided the name Soup-Can Harry.
That's right. I ain't telling you nothing. My name is the name I call myself, not the rank and number the government brants on me. No, sir.
Fascinating. Mr. Soup-Can, would you mind telling me why you're distrustful of the government?
I've seen what they do. Gum up the works with red tape and bureaucracy, take every hard-earned cent and use it to fund their Illuminati, Freemason sex parties. I'm a free man. I should be able to live as I see fit. My taxes pay for them streets and alleys and dumpsters. I'll sleep where I want.
Sir, according to this, you haven't paid taxes in many years.
I seen the back of them Abraxo boxes. Not for consumption? Don't you tell me what to do. I'll eat what I want.
Sir, you may just be the perfect candidate. How would you like to be the new Overseer for Vault 114?
I ain't wearing no goddamn tie. Or pants.
Okay, so essentially we already know what the basic premise of this is. They wanted to incite anarchy, and they wanted to overall judge what would happen. Now, if we go on the last terminal on the way out, we learn that the names of the residents, or the would-be residents, there's nothing too interesting here, except for the second entry, where they say the dog cannot be permitted. So it kind of makes you think what exactly they did to the dog. Whether they just shot it or told it to, you know, screw off. It's still kind of fucked up, but I wouldn't put it past Vault Tech, for sure. So basically all we've learned is that Vault Tech wanted to incite anarchy by having all these government officials stripped of their power and put into essentially a shoebox to see what would happen. Now, of course, this isn't over yet, because we still have Skinny Malone to deal with. There's a couple ways of doing this, but unfortunately I'm playing a very sadistic playthrough, so I'm just going to shoot them to death. There's nothing much more they can teach us about Vault Tech, so to me they're pretty much useless. After dealing with them, Nick basically tells you to come back to Diamond City with him. So, yes, Skinny Malone is dead. Feel free to loot his body if you want a tux. It actually looks quite good. Thank you for watching, guys. This has been Flat, and if you enjoy these kinds of videos, please like, and this is a very new channel, so I would appreciate any subscribers. So please